turn this on, don't I? Is that it? I'm good. Okay. Boy, it seems loud. Okay, our first item of business. Welcome to y'all. It is our ballot draw for the November 14th City of Fayetteville election, special election. And we have 4 candidates. And let's see, is this what you're using? We will do them in the order of when they filed, and the first one is David D. Phillips. Please come forward. We've got a big bunch there, so take your pick. There you go. Mix them up. Oh, no, you go ahead and open it. Number 1, listen, with that sense of foreboding, you're good. All right, our next candidate is S. Robert Smith. The drama.
It's not a secret ballot.
No. 4, you can show it out there. That way it's on tape. Thank you. And our next one is Robert Bob Stafford. No, there's only meanie and miney there. There's no mo.
That's right.
2, which would, by default, make Catherine M. Sager the 3rd position, but we will let you draw it. Is she here? She's not. All right. Position 3 for Catherine M. Sager. Thank you all for attending. You're welcome to stick around if you like. What's that?
This to the candidates.
Oh, yeah, okay. We've got a review of the ballot content. So you want to proceed with this? What are we going to do?
Okay. So new legislation that was passed in 2023 requires the Election Commission to notify candidates of how their name will appear on the ballot, along with a list of precincts associated with that particular race. So for this instance, we only have City of Fayetteville Ward 1, Position 1, and we have the 4 candidates. But in compliance with the law, we wanted to present how your names will appear on the ballot at the ballot draw, just so that if there is an error in the name, we can go ahead and look to see if it needs to be corrected now. And then we will update you with the ballot order that you drew today, so that you can see that as well. So what you have is basically the report that we run out of our programming system that shows how your name appears on the ballot. And then there's a couple of other lines. It shows your contest title. It looks like this: candidate review. And then candidate short name, candidate long name. Those are names within our programming system, but that's how the name appears on the DS200 tape, which is the ballot box, and then the election reports. And then, of course, we have included the precincts that will be eligible to vote in Ward 1 as well. And then we even have proofs of the ballot that we will approve at a later meeting, but this just gives you an idea of how we're proceeding.
Any questions on that? Please look over your name and make sure it's what you want it to be, so that You don't get a surprise on election day. All right. And will you email the official ballot once the order has been put on
Yes.
this?
So once the commission approves the ballot and we place the order, then we will post these on the county's website. You will get an email with this information as well, and then it will be on voter view for the voters to be able to see. And so that's all part of what we've included here today.
Again, any questions? Thank you all. Okay, have we covered all that then?
I think so.
Okay, then we will move on to the minutes from the previous two meetings. Have y'all had a chance to look at those?
I haven't, I have no
Any
problem.
amendments? All right, we will accept them as shown. And then we will go to early vote and election day sites for the November 14th election, special election. Here we go.
So at the moment, we only have the City of Fayetteville special election.
Wait a minute. You say at the moment. That sounds ominous.
At the moment. September the 5th is the deadline for
Oh,
any
okay.
other
Okay.
entity to file to hold a special election for November the 14th.
Okay.
So at this point, we really won't approve ballots, or we won't officially approve polling locations, because
Right.
someone else may decide to hold an election.
Yeah.
And so I don't want us to approve anything, and then we'll have to add to it if we find out someone else is holding a special
Do
election.
you have any rumblings
No,
in the mix?
I don't, but we've been
Yeah,
surprised
that's true.
before, and
That's
you
true.
don't know, so we'll hold off until the September 7th
Okay.
meeting to do that.
Okay.
But the information I do have for the City of Fayetteville, because we have already contacted the polling locations inside
Oh,
Ward
uh-huh.
1 to make sure that they are available. Baldwin, which is Cornerstone Church
Mhm.
now, Yvonne Richardson Center, and Genesis are all available.
Oh, good.
The only other polling location inside Ward 1 is Ridgeview Baptist Church. They are not available for this date. They already had a potential,
Sure.
or they already had some type of program that they can't change.
Okay.
So we'll just have the 3 polling sites for
Okay.
that election, and then potentially if we have the December 12th runoff,
Oh, yeah.
those would be the 3 open. And then for early vote, we would just have early vote in the county clerk's office, because the
Okay.
county clerk would be the early vote site that would normally be open for this election,
Right.
but is also in the area as
Okay.
well, in the Ward 1 area. So that's just the information I have for you that I'll present September 7th for the commission to approve.
Okay. Okay, super. This is our off year, right?
Yes.
Look at all those dates. Okay. All right, so we're pretty set on this, as long as there's not anybody else that wants an election. But I guess that would mean our next meeting would be September the 7th. You don't have anything before that, do you?
So if you look on the election dates, so I've made a calendar for the election
Mhm.
commission for the rest of the year
Okay.
with known dates that we will need to
Right.
meet. So our next meeting, if everyone is available, would be September the 7th. It
Okay.
would be at our new offices.
Right.
And this would be for ballot approval and for notice of election. So
Okay.
if we were to have someone file
Between
September
now and
5th,
then,
we
yeah.
have time to create a ballot
Oh, good.
and have all of that prepared for the election commission, for your approval and for the notice of election. And then
Looks like we're doing training on the 11th.
October the 11th will be the
Okay.
County Board of Election Commissioners training by the SBEC. That will be at the
Are they
sheriff's-
coming up here, or is it,
Yes.
okay,
That will be at the Sheriff's Annex.
okay.
I've also included, there's some items in here that our staff will be doing as well,
Okay.
just for your,
Yeah.
just so that you know. We're doing an event for the Alliance for Disability Advocacy Group at the Fayetteville Library. This is an opportunity for voters who have a disability to actually practice on voting equipment and for them to be aware of it. We will need to rent a truck to
Oh.
take the equipment there, but I think it's definitely worthwhile
Okay.
for us to attend this event and then provide equipment at this meeting.
Okay.
And then October the 24th, we would need to meet to sign the poll worker notice and the logic and accuracy
Oh, okay.
certification.
Yeah.
If that date works for you. Filing starts for the primary election November the 6th.
Wow.
Early vote for the November 14th election starts November
Mm.
the 7th. Election day is November the 14th. We will be at the Sheriff's Annex.
Good.
I have confirmed that that space
Oh,
is
good.
available for us. So we'll count that election at the Sheriff's Annex. Filing ends also November the 14th for
Oh.
the primary election. And then I have provisional ballot review and ballot approval if we have a runoff election. I have that set for Wednesday, the November the 15th at 1 o'clock. And then November the 22nd, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, would be our certification
Whoa.
date. I know, this is where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
So be sure, look at your calendars to see if that date works, because this date is the date that I have to put on the letter
Oh, yeah.
for any voters who receive a provisional ballot to know when the hearing
Right.
is. So if I need to adjust that, let me know.
What's
and-
what's the alternative dates for that?
The alternative dates would be Monday afternoon so that would be
Of
the
Thanksgiving week?
20th, yes.
Okay.
Now, if we have 0 provisional ballots,
Right.
no overseas ballots, we can
Not a big
certify the
deal.
Friday after the election.
Yeah.
That's if we have
Okay.
none of those things. So that date is available if all of those things
Okay.
happen. If we have any provisional ballots, the earliest we could certify the election would be Monday at 1 o'clock, because we have the noon deadline
Oh,
for
yeah.
someone who cast a ballot and was unable to show
Right.
ID.
Monday
Okay.
the 20th.
Yes, that would be the earliest we could do.
Okay.
And then, of course, Tuesday or Wednesday. So look at your calendars. If that, I would need to adjust
Right.
this
Right away.
date
Yeah.
for our letters that go out,
Okay.
or that we pre-prepare basically and hand to the voter as they vote a provisional ballot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it could be any time between Monday at 1 o'clock PM and Wednesday,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, if
Okay.
there's a time for the commission to meet.
Okay.
If none of the if none of you are available, we could do a Zoom meeting if we needed to, and I could have documents prepared,
Right.
but it would be better to do it in
It
person.
would.
If we're all available. We need
Okay.
at least 2 commissioners.
I have no idea. I don't plan
I know.
that far out.
I know. So
I know.
But I would think that Monday or Tuesday would probably be more likely to be good.
Better than Wednesday. Yeah.
Maybe Tuesday
Yeah.
at 9?
I
defer
I
to you
am
guys if you have plans.
at the mercy of my son because he had talked about that week doing something. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll have to find out from
Okay.
him.
So,
I'm available.
okay. So I can adjust that to Tuesday
Okay.
rather than the Wednesday.
You
Okay.
wanna do that? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. And the one thing is, we'll have to, our provisional ballot letters, I know that we'll mail out letters to anyone who cast provisional ballot to let them know whether their ballot did or did not count. In this instance, we will mail those letters, but we will personally call them
Oh, good.
to,
Okay.
to let them know.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a large amount, so we'll call them
Right.
because that time frame is so short
Yeah.
in there. And then, our train the trainer date is, for our staff is November the 30th.
Okay.
Then early vote for runoff election would start December the 5th. I have the ballot draw set for the primary election at December the 5th.
Wow.
That'll be, here in the quorum courtroom at 9 o'clock. And then election
We're already
day.
into next year
Election day would be December the 12th, and then.
for the runoff.
For the runoff.
Yeah.
And then I have certification December 21st, for that
Okay.
election. So
Okay.
if there's any date changes that you need to make, let me know. I try to set the election date so that we're not on the deadline,
Right.
so that it gives us a little bit of flexibility.
Good.
But if we get to the deadline and pass
Mhm.
it, then we can't change
Yeah,
it.
then we're in trouble. Okay.
So just take a look at this and see what you think, and then we can update it at the
Okay.
September 7th meeting.
Did you, on the previous one of these, did you have a December the 14th?
I had a December the 4th,
I don't know.
One.
Oh,
and I may have had a December the 14th.
Okay, because that's what I got in my
But-
calendar. I'm gonna change that.
When I found out that we have a potential for a runoff election, I tried to combine some
Right.
meeting dates with meeting dates for the runoff election.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah.
hadn't messed something up here.
Yeah, so I tried to
So this is the
Okay.
12th.
consolidate where I could.
we appreciate that. Okay. Any questions about any of these dates? We'll try to be merciful so you don't have to get back on the night before. Oh, man. We're glad you're back, though. All right, well, any other business? Anything? Okay, Jim?
I have just
Good.
Okay,
2 questions.
Jennifer's
I
got
know,
other
sorry.
business.
They're-
No big
they're-
deal.
They're fast. On the ballot, do you like the green color that we put on there?
I don't know. I don't know if I do.
What's, yeah, I was just kind of like neutral about it, but if you
Okay.
ask the
I'm
question,
not sure if I do.
Okay, and so here was, like I said, these are just proofs, not
Mhm,
anything to approve. Okay. As we were laying out the ballot, I'm always thinking ahead to the next election.
they're not even the same green.
This is our printer problem.
Oh.
They are green on the. Yes.
Okay,
That's a printer issue on the actual voting equipment.
Gotcha.
They are exactly the same
okay, because
color.
I'm looking at them
Yeah.
going, something's
Okay.
wrong there.
So here was my thought process on this. When we get into the big elections, the primary
Right.
and the general election, as voters are voting on the express vote, we have the ability to change these headers, like federal,
Yeah.
state,
Mm-hmm.
county amendments, all of those to different colors. Would it be something that we would want to think about, making those headers instead of using the dark gray and a lighter gray, but make federal,
Or
like
the
we set
reverse
the co-
printing?
or no, we set the color, like federal is gonna be yellow as the header for every election. For whatever federal races, the header will always be yellow.
Okay.
State, we could say green, you know, just.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that way, as you're going through the ballot, because the ballot now, instead of having one race per page, it has
Right,
multiple
right.
races on the page, and it would just be a distinction between the different sets of races. Just something to think about. That's why, as we were laying out this ballot, I thought, let's just do this and
Sure.
see what it looks like
Sure.
and get an impression from the commission.
Does this help you all when you look at the ballots, or, I mean, because my thought is colors, when a voter comes in to vote, they're not gonna be real, I mean, they may notice there's a difference but they may not understand exactly why unless it's explained to them.
Yeah, I don't
This is for one part of the ballot and this is for the next. But, so I don't see it as helping the voter. Would you?
No, I don't disagree. I'm not sure that the voters think of it categorically, most folks anyway, in that
May
way.
not.
Right.
And a color could signify something to a voter
And
that's unintended.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's where
That's a good point.
That's where we struggled with that too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
obviously you
Yeah.
couldn't use red or blue, or,
Right.
you know, those type of things. But like I said, this was just something that as we were laying out this ballot, I thought, let's look at it, see if it's something we would
Right.
want to pursue, if it's valuable, and that's why
Hey, good
it's
to-
green right now,
it's
just
good to
because
try it.
we
I mean,
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Try things and
Yeah.
Is
and
it,
take a look at them.
how many colors are you limited to? Do you
Uh,
have a
We're not
limit?
limited. I actually created that color.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
do all sorts
Okay.
of
But you just want to stay away from red and blue?
Yeah, and we chose green for Fayetteville because we noticed on their seal for the city,
Right.
it has a lot of green in it. So that's the reason why we settled on green for this one. So it's just something to think about.
Mhm. My personal thought is, looking at this city of Fayetteville, if you did use the green, I would put the letters in white.
And we can do that. Yeah, there's things we can do, and
It's not as easy to see. It's not a good contrast.
this is our printer problem. I think
yeah.
if you looked at it on an express vote,
Oh,
it
good
looks-
point.
it
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
different.
yeah.
But I don't want to go too far down this
Right.
rabbit hole if the commission is like, I don't like that idea at all.
Yeah.
We were just trying to think.
Sure.
So help me again to clarify what we're doing here, or what the purpose is. We've got at the top a heading of special, official ballot, special election, City of Fayetteville, Ward 1, Position 1 vacancy, and the date. Okay, that's descriptive of what this
Mhm.
ballot is. Then you've got instructions. What is the purpose of the next two sections, other than the instruction of saying vote for one?
So the programming requires us to have.
It requires us to have those.
Yeah,
those in there.
yeah, we could get by without the header, but we're so used to laying out a ballot with headers on it that it looks, at least for us, it looks like it's missing something.
Yeah.
But the city council member Ward 1, Position 1, that's a requirement. Our ballot will have it on here. But if you're looking at ballots with lots of races on them, that city of Fayetteville would usually say like maybe municipal, or it would say county.
Oh,
Because the
uh-huh.
official ballot could be something else other than that special section or
Yes.
whatever, okay.
And if, for instance, we were to get, let's say, another city decided to hold a special election on November 14th, we would go in and edit
Right.
this top part
Yeah.
to just say special elections, or,
And then you'd have two separate, or three, or however many
right, so,
distinctions
yeah,
there.
so there's.
So we don't have to have the City of Fayetteville, Ward 1, Position 1 vacancy in that top section.
We don't, we can edit that out
Because it's down here.
because it's down there. We can,
I'd like for the ballots to be less
Mm,
busy,
yep,
if possible.
good point.
When possible.
yeah.
That official ballot portion, special election and the date is maybe all that we need up there if we're gonna put City of Fayetteville and Ward 1, Position 1 down below.
Yeah, hey, I'm fine with either way on it. I think I'd stick away, I would stay away from the color stuff. I don't think we should do that.
And that's
Stick-
why we
Stick with the
asked.
gray. Well, I mean, I think it was a good impulse.
It was a good effort.
And I think it's a question that could be debated, because we are in a graphical user interface era where color slams us all the time, and maybe sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not.
And the software allows us to do this.
Yeah.
In the previous years, the software,
Oh, good
black and
point.
white, that was
Yeah.
it. We
Yeah.
had no options to, but this go round.
Would it matter any if the headers were black with white lettering? Would that be?
I,
We did that one time and it's really.
The dark black on printing this eats up our toner.
right,
And
yeah,
that's when
yeah.
we print a lot of ballots. For this election, it's
It
not
wouldn't
gonna
be
be
a
a
big
lot of
deal,
ballots.
yeah.
But when we get into a primary, and we'd like to stay consistent with our ballots
Mhm.
for each election, even if it's small or large.
right.
So yeah, but that was just something
I think
we,
part of the reason why it looks odd too is because there's only one thing on the ballot. If it was-
True,
if
yeah,
was
it
a
would be
full
interesting to
general ballot,
see a full ballot.
yeah, and we might do that next week at training. We
Oh,
can
yeah,
play with
do
that
that.
and bring them to you.
Yeah.
We'll bring these back plain,
Okay,
but just something to think about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
okay, cool. We appreciate y'all thinking outside the box. All right.
Just try and think what would a vote,
Yeah.
a voter, what would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay, any additional business? Did you have something else?
We do have, in the next couple of weeks, we will have Shred It come and shred
Oh.
2-year-old material
Okay.
for us to take care of that. And the coordinator training
Mhm.
will be September the 25th. I'll go to Little Rock.
Okay.
For that, there will be a document that the commission will have to sign
Oh, yeah.
designating me as the coordinator. And it's possible I may stay for the whole week. We'll see.
Okay, because you're
Um,
presenting at that, right?
So so what they've done for this one, which I think is they listened to what we had requested. This first day is going to be counties that are PYO and have
Oh, yeah.
more experience,
Mhm.
and will really just be a round table for us to discuss items that these should be topics that you're training on or that we're dealing with, and kind of set the groundwork for the
Okay.
rest of the training classes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you should stay as long
Right,
as you're,
right.
as you
As
want
they
to,
ask.
As long
as
as-
it goes to
As
help
long as
them
she
out.
comes back.
yeah.
That is my requirement.
So,
But
yeah.
yeah, stay down there, help them out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to give them the on-the-ground feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
There'll be 10 of us at that first day, which will be good. 10 or 12 of us. So.
Okay, do we have, on another tangent, I guess, do we have any updates on the budget process and
No,
not at all?
I don't have any
Okay.
updates. We have turned everything in
Okay.
as required, but they will, I'm assuming, like in previous years, they'll go through
Mm.
and then they'll start setting the dates
Oh, gotcha.
for the meetings at the finance.
Okay, but you've
Part
not
of
heard
it.
anything?
No,
Hmm.
no.
Okay,
I feel like they started in August or September
yeah,
of last year, so it's
Okay.
close. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I-
almost August.
I mean, once you present it all, or once you submit all the information, I feel like they're starting to work with it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Okay, all right, if there is no other business, gentlemen?
Business, anybody else? Beth?
State your name. Come closer.
We don't know how this works, so
Mine is only green,
we can.
We can hear you, we just were wanting you to be on tape, so speak loudly.
You have to push the button.
I don't really have
Oh.
business, but I just like wonder if you might give us an update to the community about how it's going in your new offices, and if there's anything you need there, to get set up and be ready to go and everything. I haven't heard, I haven't been to any meetings there because I've had conflicts until today, so I was just curious how it's going.
We think it's going well. You know, we we appreciate having a space where now everything has a home, and so we have more office space, more room for us to work, especially for our staff. We're not all in one office, kind of like we were previously. This November, the 14th election, we will be counting at the Sheriff's Annex. And so we will use that opportunity to lay out our plans for what 2024 will look like, because the commission will need to make a plan for 2024 if the Sheriff's Annex is going to be the place where we count for that year. So kind of until we get past this November 14th election, we'll have a better idea of different things that we might need going forward. But I think that, we're well organized. Our chain of custody, we feel really confident about. I think it will just be getting the voters used to, candidates used to, and parties used to, instead of coming here election night, going to the Sheriff's Annex. We're able to live stream from there. So we've set up live stream in our the room that we're using for our meetings down at our new office. And so we'll be able to take that over to the Sheriff's Annex and be able to live stream when we're doing canvassing absentee ballots, when we're counting election night, and all of those different things. So we do have a plan in place. It'll just be executing that plan.
I have no doubt that you're organized. But are you finding, what about public access where you are? Has that been an issue, or are people coming there?
So our office, when we get closer to elections, we have more activity. At this point, our phone doesn't hardly ring at all, because people aren't thinking about
Right.
elections. But we have had several poll workers. We've been trying to recruit poll workers, and as we visited with the poll workers, they've come down to our office, and it's been really nice, and filled out paperwork with us, and that type of interaction. Now, for voters who have questions about registration, that's always been in the county clerk's office. So that's important to know that we don't handle any side of the voter registration part of it. So voters who are seeking to update their voter registration, get registered to vote and change addresses is always in the county clerk's office. So, and typically whenever we have a call about that, we just forward them on to the county clerk's office.
I was just curious about how you were doing that. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks. Any other queries, comments, business? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.